Okay, as always, pause. We're moving on to Act 1, Scene 4. Very brief introduction. I think I'm going to do this video in under 3 minutes maybe. Let's see how we get on. Act 1, Scene 4. There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. Get it written down. Pause. Okay. This is the first scene where we meet King Duncan. Hugely important. Act 1, Scene 4 gives a few different dynamics. Duncan and Macbeth and their relationship with one another, their communication, really important. But for me, one of my favourite quotes, and I think this one can be used for a range of different points throughout the book. Duncan says, when he's speaking about the traitor, the first Thane of Cawdor, when he speaks about him, he says there's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. So he's basically saying there's no way of figuring out the mind from looking at the face. Basically emphasizing how the Thane of Cawdor had betrayed him. Okay, so let's write that down. Thane of Cawdor had betrayed Duncan. That's hugely important. And he finds out about it and says there's no art, so there's no skill, there's no method to being able to read the mind, essentially. So there's no art to find the mind's construction. So mind's construction there, the two words together, are your thoughts or the thoughts of the traitor, your secret plans. Essentially, this sense of deception, and for a bigger idea from that, one man, the Thane of Cawdor, betraying the king is deception, a very duplicitous nature that you see Macbeth having later on in the play. But hugely important here is this theme of appearance versus reality. And I think we had that in Act 1, Scene 1's notes as well. Appearance versus reality. So on the face of it, you can't figure out what a person's thinking. What we see here is a human side to Duncan. Now remember, a lot of this play revolves around the idea of kingship being from God. Here we're seeing a human side to Duncan and a human side to kingship. That behind the crown and behind the God-granted powers is a human being who makes mistakes. Watch out for that, because Duncan is not a perfect king. In fact, some would argue he can be a weak king at times. He allowed himself, if you want to look at it that way, to be betrayed by the first Thane of Cawdor. And of course the second. Because who is the second Thane of Cawdor? Macbeth. What Shakespeare has done is very clever here. He has allowed Macbeth, or he has written Macbeth to enter just as he says this. So as Duncan is speaking about the first Thane of Cawdor betraying him, the new Thane of Cawdor, Macbeth, arrives in, and this is deeply ironic. It's dramatic irony. We know that Macbeth is essentially an evil character, and we see Duncan again being taken for a fool, starting off with Macbeth's entrance onto the stage. Not sure if that was 3 minutes, but I hope it was helpful.